Hi, and welcome to this webinar. It's all around Instagram and how to turn those views into sales. So welcome along tonight. The webinar is only going to be 20 to 30 minutes long, so we're going to whistle stop through it. But you will be sent the link to the recording afterwards, so you get the opportunity to rewatch it as often as you need to. And obviously you can contact me for questions after the call. So I am going to, first of all, I'll just tell you really briefly a little bit of my background. So I started a brand new business in May this year called 30 Days. So I've been running my own businesses for the last 30 years and decided that I wanted to help people just with marketing, how to get yourself out there, how to do the right kind of actions consistently. So I built a PDF blueprint. It's called 30 Days, and it's a 30-day program that you work through. And it keeps you consistent. It's particularly good for your marketing and for your social media. From that, I've then been asked to do one-to-one coaching sessions with people, and I will tell you more about that at the end. So, as I said, I run my own businesses. Couple of those businesses I built purely on social media. And I have got my Instagram to the point now where it does get over 1 million views per month consistently. So I'm just going to share with you my top tips of what I do. But the first part of tonight's webinar is actually about turning those views into sales, because we can all see that views are absolute vanity. So it's brilliant for me to say that I've got 1 million views a month. It also means that I do get offered PR packages, gifting, all of that kind of thing, but that's not what I set up my Instagram for. So for me, the Instagram is very much a funnel to produce leads for me to build this business. And I've got different Instagram and different social media platforms for my original business as well. So I can very much prove how I've used social media myself to build businesses. So as I say, views are brilliant. It's great. It's a really good dopamine hit when you go onto your reel that you posted the night before and it's got 5,000 views. It's excellent, but that's not going to pay your bills. It's the sales and how you turn those views into sales that's really interesting. So, as I said, when I started this business, I wanted a sales funnel. So, sales funnel is really, really simple. It's a way of capturing people's email addresses, phone numbers, etc., to enable you to then build up a selling process with them. Or it might be that you ask people to direct message you, or you might ask people to vote on a poll. But what a sales funnel does in terms of your bio is it takes people off of Instagram. So whether they give you their email address, whether they give you their phone number, you're taking them away from the Instagram platform, because actually Meta owns my Instagram and they could take it away. So I want my leads on another source. And also, people don't go onto Instagram to buy. You might see something very lovely and you might inquire, but the majority of the time, people are on Instagram to be entertained. They are just scrolling, it's their downtime. So, going back to your bio. So, if I click on your Instagram and then I look at your bio, am I going to know what you do? Am I going to know really, really quickly what you do? Also, if you're geographically based, and this is an absolute bugbear of mine, am I going to know where you're based? Because the amount of beauty people, people like that I see that are running special offers, their photos are brilliant. I think, oh, I want to go get my nails done. Doesn't tell me where they are. They could be anywhere. So if you're geographically based, i.e., your audience are only going to come to you if you live in a certain area, Does it state that really clearly? Does it state really clearly what you offer? And obviously, you can put links there. So, what link do you have on your bio? And is it the thing that you most want to promote? And by that, I mean potentially you sell different things, potentially you have different services. Which one do you want to sell? Which is the most profitable to you? Which is the most likely for people to sign up for? That's the link that you should have. Okay, if I can't see within 7 seconds, probably 3 seconds actually, what you've got and where you are, I'm off. Because that's the facts of life now. We're an instant person. So if you are geographically based and I can't see where you are, I'm off. I'm just going to go and find somewhere else. So it's got to be really, really simple. Unfortunately, we're all an instant society now. So for me, one of the things I did when I started this brand new business is I gave away a free giveaway. So I had a post in between Christmas and New Year, way before I started this business, that got 1.9 million views in about 48 hours. So I had the viral post that everybody's out there looking for. Obviously, people viewing my post is going to do nothing for me. It's not going to build a database. It's not going to build sales. Um, the looking at your bio does that. So I put in a free giveaway. So I put in a free PDF giveaway so that I started straight away capturing people's email addresses. Now, I didn't set out to go viral. It was a bit of a shock. And I got people to comment with a specific word, and then that sent them a link, and then they could download my PDF. That's a really easy way of them reaching out to me, and obviously build your contact base. So you might be sitting there thinking, well, I haven't got a free giveaway. I reckon I could find a free giveaway for every single business. Okay, so a lot of it is based on what people are asking. Um, a lot of it is based on what not to do. I think that's a really good thing. And also, whatever your business and service is, how do they choose? I always think that's a really interesting free giveaway. How do you choose a good salon from a bad salon, a good service from a bad service? That would be a really good giveaway, is just to give them a checklist of what to look for. Okay. And again, you're just data capturing, nothing more complex than that. So that is your bio working for itself. Now, what I find is every time I have a reel that pops off, i.e., starts getting a really high volume of views, people will automatically start looking at my bio. And that's when I need my bio to work for me. I need people to go onto my bio, see my latest giveaway, my latest free webinar, and give me their details. And it needs to be enticing, and it also needs to be really, really simple. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. The other way to get sales is to reach out. Okay, so people viewing what you've got, it's going to be very, very few people that know you purely from social media that comment and kind of go, can you give me more details? What's your price list, etc. Now, I did put the caveat in there that it's people that only know you on social media. Now, you're going to have a lot of people on your social media that know you in real life. So at that point, your social media is working differently. At that point, your social media is basically working as like an online brochure. And that is a completely different thing. So we're looking at your reels going out to people that don't know you very well, or maybe even non-followers that have never seen you before. Okay, so your reels and your carousels build trust. So you can build yourself as an authority in your field. If you can also be quite funny, then that's really good, because remember the point that people go online to be entertained. Okay. The stories and your direct messages are where you start building those sales conversations. That's where people start coming in and they start buying from you. But this has got to be done in a really, really, really good way. Because have you ever had that direct message pop in your inbox? So somebody's just followed you, or you've just followed someone, and within seconds, you get either a hello, how are you? With no real, like, why are you saying hello to me? I don't know you. It's very weird. Or a sales pitch. So I had somebody recently, they literally sent me 14 messages about their products, but I'd never asked for any of them. So all I'd done was follow them. Now, somebody following you is not an invitation to sell at them. They've followed you. That's it. They've kind of just looked, haven't they? Seen something, so they want to follow you. I think that's cringe. I think that's off-putting. That's just my opinion. Whereas if you use your stories and your direct messages in the right way, I think you can start building really good relationships with people. So when you load something on an Instagram story, you can see who's viewed it. If you do a poll on your Instagram, you can see who's voted. And again, you can see who's viewed it. You can then drop them a message. So you can drop them a message that relates to the story that you put up or the poll that you've put up. Eventually, you'll have such a good following that when you put a story up, people may automatically comment to you anyway, and that does the work for you, so you can reply. I would not jump in somebody's inbox for every comment, like, or follow. To me, that seems slightly desperate. But what I would do is start building relationships with those people that are looking at your stories because you can see. Whereas if somebody looks at your reel that's on your main grid, unless they like it, you can't see. If you load stories regularly, you can start to see who's actually watching you. And I think that's really interesting. Okay. Um, and have a normal conversation. Don't blast products. If you are offering a freebie, offer it because I think that's very different. I think if I'm selling £100 pair of shoes in 5 different colours and I send you photos of the pair of shoes over and over and over again, when I've never asked for it, that's a lot. Whereas if you've got a freebie and somebody's looking at your story and your freebie fits with who they are or potentially could do, you could go, oh, I've got a freebie available at the moment. If you look at my bio, you can download it. Or you can say, don't know if you'd be interested in this, but I just thought I'd offer. And I will do that. That's about as salesy as I get. The other thing you can do is just ask questions. Um, so DM them with questions or ask questions on their posts. So you can get to know people quite well just by commenting on their posts. And I'll come back to that in a moment because we're going to talk about how to get your views higher. And that works really well with that. As soon as possible, get them off of Instagram. So as soon as possible, if they show any interest in what you're selling, say, oh, can I WhatsApp you because I don't always get my Instagram notifications, or can I WhatsApp you because I find it easier to chat on there. Get them off because apart from anything else, it's sometimes really hard to keep track of your leads on Instagram. Whereas if you get them onto WhatsApp, you've got their phone number, you've got their email address, they become a bit more of a solid lead. Right, replying to people's DMs quickly is brilliant because we are a 1 second society. So if somebody is interested in your pair of shoes, you need to answer them really quickly because in 20 minutes time, they're probably not going to be interested in your shoes anymore. Don't ask me why, because if they're interested, they should be interested. But we're an instant society. That's why people with booking links on their Instagram do better, because if I want something, I want it now. And that's just how we work. So, as much as possible, reply quickly to anything that comes in on your DMs. Okay, so getting seen and getting followers. These are my top tips for using your Instagram in a really good way to get those views. So I built the million views. I built it by consistency. So I'm now on my 70th week of posting every single week. And to put that into perspective, I didn't really start getting real traction until around January time. So I was probably about 6 months in to posting really, really consistently until I start getting the big views. On my other accounts, so for my main business, I've just restarted another account. And actually, I'm only about 3, 4 weeks in, and I'm already getting really good views. Okay, so you can do it quicker, but it's about consistency. So Instagram is all around the algorithm. So you can go down a rabbit hole for hours learning about the Instagram algorithm and what it does and what it doesn't do. Now, Instagram wants you to be consistent. So when you start out, you need to work out a time of day that you're going to post and the days of week you're going to post. And you're going to do that consistently. So when I work with people one to one, I say if you can only post once a week, post once a week, but post on the same day. Don't be one of these people that posts 7 times one week and then disappears for 2 weeks, because Instagram doesn't like it. Doesn't Instagram likes patterns. So the algorithm likes consistency. So if you know that you're really trying constricted, go lower and then build it up. But I am going to show you ways to post really, really quickly. Okay. So a lot of people find Instagram really hard work, or any social media really, really hard work. I don't think it has to be at all, particularly if you're running a business. And I'll give you some tips in a minute. So show up when you say you're going to show up. If you miss a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's almost like you're starting again. Okay, so show up consistently, and there's loads of scheduling tools you can use out there. Um, and there's something else I'm going to share with you in a minute. So make your plan and stick to your plan. And to be honest, this is how we run businesses. If you'll stop start all the time, your business is going to be harder anyway, whether it's social media or your actual business. So you can see by your analytics when your audience is online. So that is the best possible time to post. So for anybody that's a UK business, I would say 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, each, without looking at analytics, they're most likely to be on. Okay. Now we're going to start getting into some top tips of what to do. You do not post and ghost. So post and ghost means that you go on there, you post, you run away again. Okay. That's not what Instagram's about. So you need to spend 10 minutes before you post your post talking to people in your niche, ideally 5 to 10 minutes afterwards. And once you've posted, the quicker you reply to any comments you get, the more that algorithm's going to boost you. Okay, so comment before, comment after, and reply quickly, i.e., you need to be on Instagram when you post, because we're not posting and ghosting. That's going to get you very, very minimal reach. Now, earlier I said about engaging with people that are your ideal customer, client, etc. And this is when you can do it. So I've added people to my favorites. So when I'm doing my 10 minutes before and my 10 minutes after, I go down my favorites. It makes it so much easier for me. So they might be people that regularly view my stories but haven't bought from me yet. They might be people that run a small business and they're my target market. So I use my 10 minutes of engagement time to go down and drop them a comment. And then, because aren't they eventually going to look at who I am if I keep commenting on their things? I think that's human nature, isn't it, really? So use your 10 minutes before and your 10 minutes after really well. Okay, AI. Can't do anything about Instagram without talking about AI. Do not get AI to make pictures for you unless you really, really know what to tell AI so it doesn't look like AI, because we can all spot them now. They're all exactly the same and they look awful. The only reason somebody's going to buy your products or services is when they get to know you. They're not going to get to know you if you use an AI. So you've got to put your own stuff on there. It's the same with your captions. So your captions is whatever words you put with your reel or your photo. If you blindly copy and paste from AI, we can spot it. Your audience will spot it. They know it's not you. If they've ever had a conversation with you in real life and then they read that, it's not going to match, is it? So be braver, write your own stuff. Doesn't take long. You don't have to write a lot. Um, so yes, use AI to find out what questions your target market is asking. Yes, use AI to find out what's trending. Be careful though, because if it doesn't fit your niche, don't bother. Um, you can use AI as a starting place if you really, really, really don't know what to write, but edit it so much that it sounds like you. And less is more. Even if you posted up a reel of you working with a client, or a photo of you working with a client, or a reel of you going to work one day, that's better than an AI generated image. Also, Instagram are bringing stuff out where it labels you as AI. It's AI info, AI content. It doesn't look very good and it limits your growth and it limits who that's going to be shown to. Okay, so the more original you are, the more your content gets pushed out to everyone. And if you're in business, you have stories every single day about who you treat, what you do, who you sell to, what your product is. And this is what I meant about social media being really simple. Don't spend hours going down a rabbit hole trying to work out what to post. Think about what you did yesterday. So if you've treated a client, reenact that story. You don't have to have a photo of your client. You don't have to mention names. Um, if you're in a service-based business and you saw a client about, recreate that story. That's original content. Instagram will love that. Don't name them. Just say, I worked with. Um, and it's that thing, people like being around people that are successful. So if they know you've got clients, they'll look at it more. If you think about a nail salon, they post the pictures of the nails that they've created because that's your portfolio, isn't it? And that's what you want. You want, they don't post pictures of somebody else's nails because nobody wants to see them. Okie dokie. So, as I said before, warm up. You're warming up the algorithm. Don't ask me why it's called that, but it works. If you've never commented before and after, watch your views. Do it for a week and watch the difference in your views. So warm it up before, warm it up after. If somebody takes the time to comment on your post, comment back properly. Don't just drop an emoji because you're busy, because you either want it to work or not. So if you want your social media to work, do it properly. If you can reply with a question so that they reply back and then you reply back, Instagram loves that because it thinks that you're having conversations with people. That really, really works. So you just need to allow a little bit of time. And this is why I said work out how many times a week you're going to post. Stick to it, but don't just post. Work out that you will have 30 minutes to stay on the Instagram afterwards or an hour afterwards so that when people comment, you can reply. this is the bit that's really changed with Instagram. And to be honest, it's a bit of an arse. It's not very kind at all. So, likes are like dishwater now. Nobody really likes them. It doesn't excite the algorithm. What the algorithm wants is send or save. So, if you follow my account, you'll see that my call to actions are save this for later or send this to someone that needs to read it today. Okay. Because that's what I want. I want people to save it or send it. There's also a little repost button. So if you get reposts, that works really well. And there are ways you can look at your stats, your analytics to see whether you're getting a good amount of shares or a good amount of saves. And that's what the algorithm's looking for. So in basic terms, if you took a photo of your 5 pairs of shoes in 5 different colours and you said, send this to someone that needs these shoes. Okay. Now, if that's sent to 10, 20 different people in the first hour of your post going live, the algorithm is going to think that that's content that people want to see on Instagram. So it's going to send it to more people. If you put a bit of advice about why you're buying those pair of shoes or how to not have shoes rub when it's 35 degrees outside, and you say, save this for later, the next time your feet are hot, then again, the algorithm goes, oh, wow, this is a really good bit of content because people are saving it. That's excellent. And then they show it to more people. So the more you can do to help the algorithm on its way, the better. Now, it might be that you post and nobody shares it, nobody saves it, but you haven't lost anything. Just keep going with it. If you know your goal, it'll eventually come. Trial reels. Now, for trial reels, you need a professional account. And if you're running a business, it should be a professional account anyway. And it's really easy to see if it's a professional or a private account. And you need 1,000+ followers. So this might be something that you just aim for at the moment. But trial reels is loading up a reel, but it shows it to non-followers first. So this might sound strange because you're thinking, well, I want my audience to see it. Well, actually, you want your audience to grow. So it's really good to know what works with your audience and what doesn't. So on my other account, which I've reenacted for my business, I load everything up as a trial reel first. This way, I can see what's going to flop. And by flop, it means that the Instagram world isn't interested in what I say. So you've got 3 seconds to get your viewer on Instagram to decide whether they're going to look at your reel or not, and whether they're going to read the content or not. Now, if you put no hook line on it at all, they're not going to look at it, trust me. Unless you've got a very, very pretty face or a very, very pretty pair of shoes, they're not going to look at it. Whereas if you put a hook line that just stops the scroll, so you might see things about scroll stopping hooks. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for what your audience is interested in. And that means that you get more views. So I load all of my reels up. It's trial reels first. You can leave them there for up to 72 hours, see what they do. If they start getting a lot of shares, a lot of saves, and a lot of views, I know it's worth sharing them to my main grid, and there's just a little button on it where you share to main grid. Now, this is quite a good cheap way because it also means that it's not as important to warm up your algorithm before you share it, because Instagram's kind of set this up as a way to do it. So it does kind of work quite well. But I'm probably at the point of bamboozling you a little bit. So as I say, you will get sent these slides so you can get a bit more of an idea. Make your reels short. Okay, so you might have heard of B-roll, which is basically just background. So you might be walking into your clinic, you might be walking into your shop, you might be getting in your car, getting out of your car. You might pan around a nice view. 3 seconds is your rule. So if you've got an on-screen hook and then you've got loads of content that you actually want them to read, because that's the bit that's important, the shorter your reel is, the more chance you've got of that reel looping. So what you're looking for is for people to stay on it longer, because again, it tricks the algorithm. So if you're reading something and that means that the reel plays again, because it's only 3 seconds long and it's taking you 6 seconds to read the content, the algorithm goes, oh, this is really interesting, because people are watching it more. Whereas if you've got something and the hook line's wishy-washy, there's no content to it, so your audience come off it and come back straight off it straight away, the algorithm won't show it to more people, because they'll go, well, that's clearly dud. If everybody's only staying on it 1 second, it's not interesting. Whereas if people stay on it 6 seconds and replay it, algorithm shows it to more people. Okay, so it's about your hook line almost saying to people, you need to read this. You really, really need to read this. And then they read it and they're there for longer than your reel loops. And this is why I use reels over photos. So even if I post a photo, I turn it into a reel, because I like that loop. For me, it's a really good trick. So I don't post anything apart from reels and stories. But that's just what I do personally. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, I started this business 2 months ago. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? 3 months ago. And I have found in the last sort of month to 6 weeks that people have started asking me for one-to-one help, which obviously I'm really happy to do. So when you'll get a follow-up email after this, and on there will be a link, and that tells you how to book. So if you found this quite a lot of technical and you'd actually like me to sit with you, either for your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever it is that you're using, just go through your content, look at your profile and build a bit of a strategy together. So that would include 50 titles of posts for you going forward. And it just would help you have the strategy, and just to know that you've got everything in place to turn your views into sales. So if that's something that you're interested in, as I say, with this email, there will be a link to book. It's £97 for the 60 minutes. As a special offer, I'm not discounting. What I'm offering is just a quick audit of where your current clients come from, which is something that I also offer, just to see how much your social media is converting at the moment. So I'd also do a quick audit, and from there you can work out what your daily activities should be, i.e. how much effort you should be putting into your social media. So that's something that I normally charge another £47 for, but for tonight, after watching this webinar, I'll offer it all inclusive for the £97. Okay, so your 1 minute webinar will actually, sorry, your 1 minute coaching call will actually turn into 90 minutes for the same price. So as I say, that will be on the email that's sent out with this recording. So thank you for listening in, really appreciate it. If you have got any quick questions, then just drop me an email or a WhatsApp. Other than that, I hope that I will see you on a one-to-one coaching session. Thank you.